So, good afternoon, and I'm Stu Newbury, and I'm delighted to be with my guest today, Lucy Sheffield, and she's known amongst friends and colleagues as Lou or Lulu. And Lou, you're up in North Devon.
Yes.
Your accent tells a different story.
As if I've got an accent.
And we're just going to spend, I don't know, maybe the next 20 minutes or so, just talking a bit about what you're up to, how you came to Devon. And we met recently at an event in Dartmouth, and we got talking about a few things. And you were telling me a bit about your relationship with alcohol, which is something that you want to talk about today. And so it would just be really good just to hear a bit about, where you've come from, how you came to Devon, and what you're up to right now.
Okay. I'll probably go on for ages now. I guess the short version of the story of how we came to Devon was when my sister and I, after we'd been around the three principles understanding for a few years, we wanted to connect with some people. We lived up in the Midlands in Coventry, and we connected with a lovely guy in Birmingham, and we made a group of friends. And one of our friends actually sadly passed away, and I think that kind of spurred Beck and I, my sister, that spurred us on to realise that life was short and we weren't doing what we loved. And I'd always loved writing, and I'd been writing a book about the principles, about my understanding at the time, but I hadn't written any for about 4 years. And I kind of decided, once my friend died, I was like, I'm gonna follow this. I want to do my writing. I want to get my book out there. So I got that self-published, and Beck and I decided, because we decided life was too short and we wanted to come down to Devon and be with my auntie and help her share the principles in whatever way we thought that we could do that. So we basically live down here. We've lived down here nearly 2 years now, and we do have a lot of fun. We share a lot of, principle stuff. So that's basically where I'm at.
And you've got a passion for writing, which you touched on there. And so this book that you started about 4 years ago, I think you've said that you've now published that book. And I just wonder how different it looked from your writing 4 years ago to the point where you got it published.
When I went back to it, I kind of thought, oh, no, I'm not having that. So I didn't rewrite it, but I definitely spent some time editing what I'd previously written, and then continued from there, carried on writing the book. And it's quite interesting now, because my writing journey now, I've learned so much more in the last probably year, I suppose, around writing and stuff. It's kind of a bit cringy to look at that book that I self-published, but it was a good learning curve at the time. But I can see how far I've come from doing that. Yeah.
Isn't it interesting that we look back at some of the things that we've been involved in before with a bit of a critical eye, and I know that people really enjoy your book, and it's interesting how the way that you see things is probably going to be somewhat different to when you put pen to paper over those years. But you've said that your appetite for writing has been, I don't know, fired up again, hasn't it? So tell me about that.
It was about a year ago when Deb and I and Beck had been working together. It kind of dawned on me that it wasn't really what I wanted to do. Like, I love sharing the principles, and I love, we do a lot of retreats and workshops and conference. Obviously, we do our big conference every year, and I love playing those games. I just love being with people and helping people see this understanding and deeper truth of who they are. But it didn't feel to me like that's what made my heart sing and what was helpful for sharing with other people. So it kind of took me a while, and with a lot of support from Deb and Beck, to say, you know, do what you love, do what you love. And I kept saying, I don't know what I love, I don't know what to do. But there was something in the back of my mind, which was, I do love my writing. I definitely love my writing. I feel like I can express through that. I'm passionate about it. I feel like I'm quite a good writer, you know. So my friend Mandy was running a writing retreat, so I decided to go on it. And it was the best thing ever. I absolutely loved it. And I met like a friend of Mandy's that's a traditionally published author. And it just felt really good. It just felt so good being there amongst these people that knew their stuff, and it just inspired me, and it made me kind of realize, yeah, I'm good enough as well, and I can follow this, and I can do what I love. And that's probably a better way for me to show up in the world and share and help people see that they can do what they love as well.
So what did you see in yourself that maybe you'd missed before?
I saw that I was good enough, whatever that means. I guess it means I saw that I definitely spiraled myself into a bit of thinking of, oh, Deb and Beck can talk the principles, and they're confident, and they're good at what they say, and they're posh in the way they talk, and I'm just like street the way I talk. And so I guess the biggest thing was realizing that I was too insecure, insecure in myself, and that I wasn't good enough, and comparing myself with them all the time, which was difficult when we lived together as well. So.
And in case people don't know, your aunt is Deborah Simmons.
Yeah.
And your sister is Becky Sheffield. Beck Sheffield, yeah. And you run these, or you were involved with them in running retreats and workshops and one-to-one coaching up in North Devon. Yeah. And you've been doing that now for a few years. And I understand that you've sort of left that behind now because you really want to, go in your own path. It's taking you from that experience into writing full time now. So yeah, tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I left it behind as such. I mean, Deb and Beck do most of, the stuff, if you like, but I help a lot. Like I just love the retreats that we do. I love the workshops. I love the conference. So I help quite a lot with organising that behind the scenes and things. And you might see the occasional me on the stage with the microphone or something.
Yeah,
if I'm not feeling too shy. But mainly, yeah, I spend my days writing, editing. I guess over the last couple of months as well, I've been trying to sort of build a little bit of a business around it too. With the, I've got a writing retreat coming up with Mandy. We're going to run a writing retreat, so that's exciting and scary. And I've been trying to build like a bit of a mailing list. I've built myself a website with the help of Deb. Built a website. So I send a newsletter out every single month. Kind of put, got a Facebook page and stuff like that. So it's not just writing the books. I want to build this into a bit of helping others as well. And whether that's helping others through writing or helping them discover what they like to do, I want to do some mentoring with people and stuff as well. That's my way of going about it.
Fantastic. And the foundation then of your writing, is it all based on this 3 principles: understanding, inside out understanding?
Sort of yes and sort of no is the answer. A lot of people ask me, oh, is your book about, people understanding their thinking kind of thing? And I mainly say no, because it's a children's book. It's an adventure story. It's got a couple of characters. But I would say that there's an underlying message there, and that is for, children, maybe adults more. It's more about adults having fun, because these children in my book go into this imagination world, and the adults struggle to go into it because they don't believe in magic, and You know, it's all about believing in magic and having fun and doing what you love in the world kind of thing. There's definitely that underlying message. And I think through understanding what I have over the last few years, it can't not come from that place anyway. You know, there can't not be a message of some description in there.
So how's this writing, how's it been influenced by your shift recently from your problems with alcohol?
Well, funnily enough, one of the reasons that I started to look into my relationship with alcohol was because I was feeling tired so much, like not so much hangovers or anything, because I think my body kind of got quite used to the amount I was drinking. But every day I was just feeling so sort of like not there in my head in a way. So, and writing's not that difficult, but the editing, you have to concentrate a lot. And I was kind of generally just feeling like I'm just so exhausted and I can't do this, apart from on the days where I haven't drank and I'm clearer the next day and I've had a better sleep and all that sort of stuff. So I've definitely noticed in the last few weeks of not drinking that it's a lot easier to do that kind of stuff with a clearer mind. You know.
So what was it that had you have that insight that you wanted to stop drinking?
Well, I guess I've been drinking for years, ever since I could. I think like when I was about maybe 15 or something like that. And I'd had some insights around it quite a few years ago. I wanted to stop, but it didn't feel like, it felt too scary to just never drink again. But something in the last few months, I'd say since our conference actually, I don't know, but since our conference, something in me shifted and I realised that I hide a lot. And I feel like we tell people, you know, not to be scared of your thinking and not to worry about what's going on in your head. It's all okay and it's all acceptable and it's all to be loved and embraced and all that. And I realised, hang on a minute, why do I drink? You know, I started questioning myself and admitting to myself the reasons that I drink. And I don't know if I knew it and was just afraid to face it, or I didn't quite know it enough on a level. But once I started thinking, okay, the reasons I drink, because I have this ball of anxiousness inside me, and as soon as I have a drink, I feel relaxed. And there's so many social situations that I just wouldn't do or go to without getting pissed, if you like. God, what are the other reasons? To be more confident, to be good enough, to be funnier, to be more accepted. You know, I think most people, the people that I've spoke to around it lately, have related to that. There's a few people in my life that have said like, oh, I don't drink anymore and I give up drinking, and I can totally relate to that. And then it's habit and boredom. That's my other thing. Like, I notice so much how I get this bored story. And when I say that, it's more like, it's not that there's nothing to do, but I don't want to do any of those things. And it's like, well, let's get a bottle of wine then and we can just sit here and have a drink, and that'll take that feeling away. So for me, it's definitely been noticing about trying to take away whatever I'm feeling. And I realised there's more power in not doing that and embracing my feelings and being okay with them no matter what.
And so you'd been seeing this, as you said, for quite a while in different ways. And it sounds as though something occurred for you that, okay, this is it. I'm actually going to do this. So what was that?
I think once I admitted it to myself, it was like, okay, how am I can't admit this to other people because I'm gonna have to put it out there that basically I've got a problem with drink, if you like, in one way or another. But there was just something inside of me that said, but if you face this, you've got nothing to be scared of. Face this and let people see the real you. You are open, you are honest, you are vulnerable, and there's nothing to be scared of. People are going to understand that. And also there's the whole, like, I do often find myself saying to other people, why are you worried about what other people think of you? And then I find myself, that's exactly what I think. I'm scared of what other people think of me. So then I kind of went into, okay, the only person I can ever tell anything to is Beck. So I had a chat with her, but this time it was very different. Usually I talk to Beck and I'll be like, I need to talk to you about this problem, and I'm all like desperate, and we need to talk through principles and put me back to the truth of who I am and let me sort this out. But it was more, this time it was more gentle when it came to me, and it was like, it felt like, I want to explore this. I want to put it out there and explore what I'm thinking and feeling about drinking. And we talk a lot, Beck and I talk a lot about taking responsibility while knowing that we're not responsible. And I think what that means to me is, I guess before, and a lot of people probably can relate to this, whether it's drinking or anything else that they're kind of facing, it feels like, and it certainly felt like to me, if I want to give up drinking, I've got to do this. It's all on me. It's, and the pressure, and no way, it's just so overwhelming. It's just to try and comprehend. And when I thought about, what about if I just sort of get curious and ask the universe if there's something I can see differently around my relationship? And it feels to me like when we do that, when we question stuff like that, we're facing it, we're admitting it, we're putting it out there, stop, and then see what the universe comes back with. And I just believe that. I believe that when we do that, the universe does come back and meet us halfway. And that's what I understand by taking responsibility while knowing I'm not solely responsible. And since doing that, I kind of then went on to write a piece about I didn't write a lot, but I wrote something small about this, about my alcohol and my relationship with it. And my writing mentor asked me if I would read it out to her. And I said, no, I'm too scared, but I'll send it you and you can read it. So then once I knew she'd read it, I was happy to then talk to her about it. And then once I'd done that, I kind of started opening up to anyone that wanted to listen, basically, to say, guess what? I'm starting to see this thing around alcohol. And so it kind of spiraled from there, I guess.
I mean, it's really interesting listening to you, because what I've heard from you is that there was something about the way that you saw yourself in the world, which was using alcohol to, I don't know, bolster, preserve that separate self.
Yeah.
That either you thought that you needed to be, or that you thought other people needed to see you as that, Lou. But actually, there's so much more to you, which seems to be that you're now seeing, or that you always knew was there. But I don't know, maybe you were afraid to trust it in some way.
I think so, yeah. But
it sounds as though you're really enjoying what you're experiencing, and I'd love to know more about that now.
I guess what happened after that then was, I was like, again, I thought it's too much to think, right, I want to live my whole life without drinking ever again. It's way too much to take on for me. Like, I kind of have this thing where just do what's in front of you, take the next step and let the rest unfold and stuff. So I thought, what about approaching it with, just as I'd already got curious anyway to my relationship with it and why I was drinking, I just kept thinking, well, if I'm not scared to be me, what about just trying to feel those things and allowing them without the drink? So I noticed that there was a particular week I went up to stay with a friend, and I sat at her house, and I haven't known her that long, and don't know her that well. I've never been to her house before. And that afternoon, I found myself sitting there thinking, oh my God, I feel so shy. I'm so nervous. Oh my God. And I felt kind of the same from her. She felt a bit nervous and shy. And even though we get on and we've got loads to talk about, it was still like, where shall I look now? And the silences. And we got through the afternoon, and, we had a lovely time and everything. And then we went out. And I just kind of noticed over those next few days, I just noticed that my drinking got a little bit less. Like, we went out for dinner that one particular night, and normally I would drink before I go, drink at dinner, drink when I come back. Because the reason I drink, or one of the reasons I like drinking, is to feel drunk. I like the feeling of feeling drunk. So for me, that night I went out and drank 2 glasses of wine or something, and didn't drink any before or any after. And I kind of thought, what was the point in that? I might as well have just drank water. And then it happened again. I think I drank a couple of times that week, but I drank a lot less, which was just, I didn't set out to do that. It just happened. And then I'd been exploring this thing, or I'd been looking into this thing online that I just came across called the alcohol experiment. And I liked the name of it, that it wasn't a challenge, or it wasn't, it felt like an exploration again to me. So I kind of looked at it, but it wanted you to put in a start date. So I was like, oh God, no. Oh no. Because I was 30 days without drinking. But the way she kind of described it was saying, like, you can't fail. Even if you drink, it doesn't matter. Just being aware and just noticing that your habits, that you're interested in changing your habits. And I thought, oh, that sounds just like what's been going on for me. So after 2 days of not drinking, just because I didn't want to, I signed up to it. And each day you get like an email from her and a little video and stuff. And there's like a journal thing that you write. She asks a few questions and stuff, and you just write it, or you can write your thoughts and stuff. And there's a big, massive Facebook group with people constantly posting and supporting each other and stuff. So it's really nice from that point of view. And the emails are really good. I really relate to a lot of what she's saying. It makes so much sense. I actually read the email every single morning before I get out of bed. I love it. And I watch some of the videos, and some of them I don't, because mainly I feel like it's been quite easy. I haven't wanted to have a drink like over those days. And it, I know before we started recording this, and I was telling you about the journey, and I was thinking, what day am I on? Because it's kind of gone out of my focus. I haven't been thinking, oh, I want a drink tonight. And I think it is like 24 days or something now, so I'm not far off. But one of the things that's come out for me is I did this because I want to change my drinking habits rather than quit drinking. But I kind of feel like I can't wait to do another 30 days sober after this, because I just feel like, oh my God, I love being sober. It's just amazing. And I've had a few situations that have come up over the sober days, where people have drank around me, and there've been things where it would be like, oh God, I'd be drinking here. One of those was like at Anne's thing the other week, when I would have drank the night before, but no one was drinking, and I was like, oh, that's okay then, I won't. And I felt a bit nervous and on edge and stuff, and anxious. And then another one, a couple of our friends came to stay last week, or I think it was, and they both drink, but they both drink what I call normally. They kind of just shared a bottle of wine over dinner and just had a couple. And I found myself buying some alcohol-free wine just in case, because I thought, if I feel left out, it might be nice to try. I've never tried it before. I tasted it and thought, yeah, that's all right. But what I realised was the point of drinking or not drinking, it's not really anything to do with feeling left out or any of that. If I'm happy sitting here drinking my water, I can't see the point in spending the money on alcohol-free wine either than normal wine, So it wasn't difficult. They were sat there drinking their wine, and it just didn't bother me. It I really thought, well, I'm making this choice and I want this. And I think that's a huge difference. When you want something, it doesn't feel like it's difficult. I'm not saying, you know, I'm early into this. I'm very early into this after all these years of drinking, but it feels like every moment I'm choosing that I don't want to have a drink because it feels nicer. There's so many, I don't know, I don't know where to start. But
Well, I heard you say that I love being sober.
I know, it's ever so.
I love this life being sober. Yeah.
Like I would never say that.
And I wonder, I'm curious that, is this about the alcohol, or is this something which is you seeing something about yourself which is just different?
Yeah, I think that one. Seeing myself different, yeah, definitely. It's like, it was funny because I think a few weeks ago I said to Deb and Beck, I feel like, I think most people have probably seen the film Home Alone, and Kevin comes out when, I think it's the man with the snow shovel or something, and the little boy Kevin comes out and he goes, "I'm not afraid anymore." I said to
That's
Deb,
you.
"That's me."
That's you.
I'm not scared anymore. What's happened to me?
Wow.
Apart
What an amazing view of yourself that maybe you hadn't seen before.
Yeah, it's great. It feels so like liberating. It really does.
And I just wonder maybe what other people's sort of commentary is on you up to this point.
Yeah, I've had like, obviously, I live with Deb and Beck as well, so they see me every day, and all I ever get from Deb is, "You're so amazing. I can't believe how well you're glowing, and you're this." And you know, a lot of people are saying like you're a lot more sparkly, and you know, you look better. You're just like, I think you said yourself when we started chatting, like you're more alive. And
Yeah.
I feel that in myself, so I guess that's going to come across. I feel more present to what's going on. That's the biggest thing, definitely. Even though I didn't drink every single day, you know, and I think that was one of my excuses of, there isn't really a problem here. I don't drink every day. But when I did drink, I would drink probably at least a bottle to a bottle and a half of wine on a night, and probably drink 3, 4, maybe 5 nights a week doing that. And I would smoke as well when I would drink. And I think even though on the days when I wasn't drinking, it's just there in your system, you know.
And so have you given up smoking as well?
Yeah, I'm not really a smoker.
No, okay.
I've smoked on and off for years.
Yeah.
But you know, so many people say I'm jealous. I wish I could just have a smoke when I would drink. I only really smoke a couple when I drank, and I'm not really that bothered. So yeah, I haven't had a fag since then.
And it's really interesting because I was going to ask you about, you know, do you get a sense that you'd be able to be of assistance to other people that, you know, if they see this and who think that, you know, you could really help them? Do you think that your experience might help them, or is it not about the alcohol or the substance? Is it something more that you'd be pointing to that really would be something for them to see about themselves?
Yeah, definitely. I'm more than happy to talk to people and help people. I've thought about that in the last few weeks. Like, this is such an incredible journey for me, and I feel happy and confident talking about it and helping others. So for sure, it's definitely something I'm interested in, helping people, you know, overcome addictions or whatever you want to label it. And yeah, I totally see that it's nothing to do with the alcohol. It is so, oh my God, it's just, there's days and times where I'm scared and nervous anyway, whether I wasn't drinking 24/7, days and times when I'm scared and nervous because of the thinking that's going on through me. You know?
And I suspect that anyone with some sort of addiction or issue around alcohol or substances would just find what you've said there really curious.
Yep.
And just in hearing something there may be some real hope that they could help themselves, and talking to you would really sort of point them in that direction. So look, Lou, it's been really great talking to you this afternoon. And so So if somebody does want to get in touch with you, how might they do that?
You can find me on Facebook. Normally, I respond on there quite well. I like
Yeah,
messaging also.
yeah,
Lucy Sheffield on Facebook.
yeah. Okay.
I have got a website actually now, so you could find me on there, which is writingfromwisdom.co.uk.
What a great name.
You can email me at is it dare to be you at gmx.co.uk.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
That's great.
I think you can email me on that.
So there's three distinct ways there. There's your Facebook contact. There's your writingfromwisdom.co.uk. Great. And then there's that email address. Could you repeat that?
Dare to be you at gmx.co.uk.
That's great. Well, look, Lou, thank you very much for this afternoon. It's been great getting to know you a bit better than I did before.
Yeah.
And it's a great story that you have there. And I'd love to see you write about that. I think that could be a really interesting story at some point.
Definitely in the pipeline.
And of course, we're looking forward to the first of 5 books, did you say, that you're gonna write in this series of children's books? Is there a name to these books yet?
It's Maddie and Theo's Adventures, and the first one is Kakarooni Zoo.
Right. Well, we definitely want to look out for them. So
yes,
again,
I won't be quiet about that when they're.
I'm sure you won't. I'm sure you won't. Well, it's great to be talking to you. Great to see you so alive and
Awesome.
loving being sober.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I know.